They offered me a site that is in between two houses for $100,000. I refused this offer. I'll tell you the reason why I refused and what important criteria you should consider when choosing your future house site. The selection criteria can be divided into three groups. 1. General features that are attributed to all sites as a rule. A real estate agent is used to cover them at a meeting. 2. Technical features are those hidden technical details that you will face during the construction. And 3. The third group includes those sites you should avoid at any cost. There's an idiom in retail that says location, location, and location again determines the success of your project. The same works in construction. When you select the site, its location will be a key criterion. You will not be able to either change or relocate it, so you should consider this feature as a primary one. Yesterday, I had a meeting with people who bought a house for $1,650,000 just because of the great location. Of course, the location and place can be impacted by key criteria, such as a view or ambience thereof, high or low price, neighborhood, and sometimes even the presence of homeless people in the district. One key criteria to choose a site is your future neighbors, the people you will be living next to on a daily basis. You should pay attention to this when choosing the site. Of course, it can also be the potential of the neighborhood. For example, this shack will be sold one time, and a new, beautiful house will be built. And you should consider the presence of new construction around the area. We often don't think about this, but neighbors could disturb you when you move into your new home. And now I'll tell you about my favorite criteria: technical features you face when buying a site. The first one to consider is the complexity of the construction. There is a doable and undoable criteria, which means we can or cannot build a house on this site. The slope can be so high that the foundation on this construction site will be unprofitable. I'm sure it is possible to construct everything, but you should consider the cost. The next technical factor is the absence or presence of HOA and its rules. It's the homeowners association that creates its own rules. You should read them carefully. For example, if you want to build a modern home in a contemporary style, you can find out that it's impossible according to the rules. They do not permit the construction of modern houses, and your modern dream house cannot be built. The third technical criteria you should consider is the availability of infrastructure. For example, water supply. We need to pay $15,000 to pay Water District 17 for the water supply for the house in our area. So when I choose a site, I check if there's a well and water meter in the place, because their availability will save $15,000 for me. The same case is with the septic. There are sites where the septic is not possible, or there's not enough area to construct your dream home of 2,000 square feet, because there must be a definite square foot area for the septic. The same problem may happen in a case that you can accept: the construction of improvement coverage areas that are the meters to construct within your site volume. These rules must be upheld according to the specific regulations. You can either read them in the HOA regulations or ask your realtor how many square feet and the number of homes you can construct on the site. If you want to build your own house and a house for your parents or guests, There are places where you cannot do that because it's prohibited. Look at where I've climbed. That's all for you. It's the coolest selection in terms of sites you should avoid. We're standing in the site center right now. The natural stream is running quite in the center. You will surely say that this can't be changed. Yes, but at what cost? The next is drainage. I found sites with very good prices, $50,000 or $30,000. When I visited these sites, I saw there's a drainage channel passing through them. It was created by a natural stream. When there was rain, the water made this channel. Just imagine that you are living on a site where a natural stream is running. On the one hand, the stream can be used, but on the other hand, it can overflow after heavy rains. You'll have to pay a lot of money to take this stream away from your site. The next is the flat zone, which is a very important point. When you buy a site, consider which part of the whole site is in the flat zone. Mostly such sites are near a river or stream. You can construct on the site and take advantage of its beautiful views, the availability of a river or a stream or a pond near your house. But you will face specific restrictions when getting the permit. It's possible, but challenging. Okay, I'll continue sharing valuable information. You can easily view the trees on a site when you approach it. To cut down the trees on the site, we had to pay $15,000. I wasn't aware that cutting down the trees on our project site would be so expensive. Another feature is the availability of infrastructure objects in the county. We usually don't notice it. For example, there can be an electricity tower or spectrum or the internet provider's box with cables nearby. All these things can make your home cost lower when you want to sell it. Or you'll live near the electricity tower, where electric waves will impact your living. The second type of site I recommend avoiding is those located on a precipice. The construction there will be more difficult, expensive, and dangerous, both for constructors and you, as you start living there. The third type of sites to avoid is garbage piles of construction or other items of unknown origin. Very often they are covered with the ground, and you won't even know that you'll live on top of the garbage. Take a drone, make an all-around video, and check the ground to ensure there is no garbage piles there. One of the last features to consider is the ground type: stone, smooth ground, or clay. You will need to dig in to construct the foundation. The ground type will determine your home's construction expenses. We're building on stony ground, and it makes the construction longer and more challenging. There are different types of ground in Texas. You may find a site with ground where you can easily construct your dream house and locate the septic without any problems. Summing it up, I've defined 3 criteria that impact the site selection. 1, general, 2, technical, and 3, sites to avoid. They say that you can calculate if the site will bring profit to you or not, just at the moment of selection.